It's random. Ooh, hey guys, this is Jim Kurtz with Harvest Harmonics and in the United States and also around the world. I'm the executive director here, and I'm going to show you guys a presentation of a very special product that we have that we've actually been launching over the last several months. We're been getting amazing results for our farmers. And I want to also discuss with the general public here ways that you can help farmers improve the quality and overall crop yields that they're growing and help sustainable and organic agriculture while making a good living for yourself and helping us connect with those farmers. And what we want to share with you today really is called the future of farming. So I'm going to just do this quick presentation with you. If you have a few guys maybe on Zoom that might join us, but really just want to run through this presentation with you guys and show you what we got. So we're calling this innovation the future of farming. We call that because we have the ability to not only improve the quality and overall yield of farming, but we're actually changing the way farming is done. Instead of having such a heavy reliance on chemicals and pesticides and things that are very unhealthy for us in the long run, both in terms of our environment and our food supply, we're going to be able to grow healthy food that's insect resistant, that's healthy for us, that doesn't have a lot of negative effects on the environment. And let's get started here. So like I said, we are Harvest Harmonics International in the United States. Our website is harvestharmonics.com. And really want to show you guys what our mission is. Our mission is to help farmers around the world grow healthier, better quality crops at a lower cost with higher yields, all without harming the environment. And we do this through an innovation that we're going to discuss here in a minute. Now, farmers that we talk to suffer from a lot of different things, but one thing that we haven't mentioned here in this presentation is the distribution challenges that they have. But farmers are having a lot of trouble with bad weather, with the rising cost of inputs, with the growing need to increase their production to feed everybody. With pest control is always a problem, disease and pathogen control, and soil fertility getting worse and worse over time. We're helping solve these problems with our product we call the Kyminasi Plant Booster. Now, Kyminasi Plant Booster is a device that fits into a farmer's irrigation system. It supercharges the water in a way that helps the plants absorb nutrients and process photosynthesis much more efficiently. We'll get to that in a little bit. So what is Kyminasi? It's the first 4 letters of the inventor Fulvio Baumella's children's names. You see here on the slide. And it consists of 3,000 distinct low-frequency radio waves that are combined in very specific ways that improve plant function, including nutrient absorption, insect resistance, photosynthesis, and a lot of other different processes. Now, if you want some more information on the technical side of how our technology works, you can watch our explainer video here in the link, or you can watch the science video. Our agricultural engineer, Brett Miller, discusses the science behind our technology, and then the ability of water to retain and store information is in this last video here. And if you have any questions on some of these videos that we're going to be flying through in this presentation, by all means, give us an email. We'll show you the email address at the end of this presentation. You can email us. We'll send you those links, or we'll send you more information. Now, a little bit more about Kyminasi Plant Booster, which is our device here. It's a non-chemical catalyst that stimulates 7 main areas of plant biology: water and oxygen absorption, nitrogen absorption, nitric oxide absorption, light absorption, carbon dioxide absorption, and photosynthesis efficiency, as well as soil fertility, which is becoming an increasingly problem in commercial agriculture. Now, what we're actually doing scientifically is we're helping to turn C3 type photosynthesis into C4 and CAM photosynthesis, which gives the plants a greater resilience and ability to withstand harsh weather conditions and improve their overall production. A little history on our development of our technology here. It started back in 1999. The researcher Fulvio Belmonte began researching plant biology and how various signaling systems of biological processes could be measured. It took him 15 years to develop his first prototype, which was amazing. It produced amazing results, but it wasn't really strong enough for commercial agriculture. So over the next 4 years, he continued to work on it and develop it until he was able to get the signaling system strong enough to handle the large commercial irrigation systems. And then last year, we developed another breakthrough that improved the effectiveness of our technology by 8 times what it was in the past. Now, just to give you some ideas here, some of the earlier versions, we tested this on a farm and just compared his average production over the last 10 years to what his production looked like in the first and second years using our technology. And as you can see, the first year in 2018, he got a 42% increase over his baseline average over the last 10 years and a 60% increase last year. And he's expecting even better results this year. We did this across 6 to 7 farms last year. We saw a 27% increase in just 40 days using the latest version of our technology. Now, these were scientific trials in the sense that we had a control field with just regular growing methods, and we had a field that just had our technology, and everything else was kept the same. So you saw a 27% increase in only 40 days over November to January of this last year. Some of the benefits of what our technology does, it increases crop yield, it increases nutrient absorption, it increases the nutrient density of fruit, it improves the flavor of fruit and vegetables, it will improve the shelf life of fruit, which we'll get to, and it produces just a host of different effects. It makes the fruit sweeter and healthier in general, and just pretty amazing stuff overall. I'm going to make sure, good. Make sure I don't have anybody waiting on me, good. Okay. So these are some of the different things we say. Now we're also testing some additional benefits of our technology, which would be decreasing water usage, decreasing need for pesticides, decreasing needs for fertilizer, improvements in environmental damage and reductions of environmental damage, and better weed control. We're testing these things now, and we should have more results on that this year. So, oops. Okay, good. So, next, I just want to do some case studies here. So in 2015, we did a case study on some bell peppers, obviously down in Panama, largest grower in Panama for bell peppers. And what we saw there was an increase in about 20 to 30% in the size of the peppers. We also saw an increase in the weight by over 70% on the same peppers because the cell walls were much thicker, the membranes were thicker. We also noticed that shelf life improved by about 10 to 15 days. So basically almost 2 weeks extra shelf life with our device on it. Another study we did, this was in our office in Clearwater. We did a side-by-side comparison of 2 planters. And in this particular experiment, Hurricane Irma came through in 2017 and interrupted our experiment. We had to leave everything and evacuate. When we came back 5 days later, we noticed that there were huge differences in insects in the insect population. The standard control planter had thousands and thousands of these types of insects, and the Kyminasi Plant Booster planter, literally right next door, had nothing, had 0 insects. And the video of what we saw is sitting here on the slide too. Again, if you want us to watch that video, you can check out our YouTube channel, or you can email us and we'll send you the link to this video. Pretty amazing stuff there. Oops, going backwards. The next one, this was done on a grape farm down in Chile, down in South America. And what was amazing about this is we got a 7% increase in yield, but he only actually watered for 14 days. This was done 44 days before harvest, but in only 14 days, the size and the weight of these grapes, he got an extra 1,640 kilograms, which turned into $11,316 in overall profit. Now, he started harvesting and got an extra 1,640 kilograms, but he continued to grow, continued to harvest, and he got even more. As you can see in the notes here, the total kilograms, he got an extra 1,640, but he got an extra $11,000. He was actually able to sell the grapes for more money because the grapes themselves are much healthier, much larger, much more sweet. So not only did he get more production and more yield on the test group with our Kyminasi Plant Booster, they also had better quality. So he was able to sell the grapes for a lot more money than he did with his other crops. The next one was done in Washington State. This one was done last year on melons, on varieties of cantaloupe, and he got an extra 30% increase in yield on his cantaloupes, plus an extra 4 to 5 points on his Brix testing. Now, Brix, for those of you guys who don't know, is the overall sugar content. It's a percentage of sugar in a solid, which would be like fruit juice and those types of things. So basically, we're talking about a 4 to 5% more sugar content in the fruit than his standard field. The next one was done. This was done over regrowth in. This was done over 60 days in the wintertime. And what was cool about this one was, whoops, what was cool about this one was we got, we left these out. We were doing some experiments of different Kyminasi plants in different variations. But what we saw was after we left these out for 2 months, excuse me, and the weather was completely snowy, it was horrible. All the plants pretty much were down to just literally stems, and the control, they were pretty much dead. But the leaves, once the weather starts to get warmer and the sunlight came back, the Kyminasi plants actually started to regrow their leaves again. So even though they're annual plants, they were able to come back to life and start to regrow again, even after being left in the snow. This particular result was 144 roses were shipped from Ecuador, and this was 30 days after they were cut. They were showing signs of increasing their growing new stems and new leaves, even after 30 days. Typically, you might see that happen for a few days and maybe up to a week where they'll have enough energy left in the stem to regrow leaves and stuff, but ours was continuing to regrow branches and leaves 30 days after picking. So that again indicates a better shelf life for picked flowers and fruit. The next case study we did was again in Washington. This one we did on, we called cation exchange, which is a measurement of soil health. And the higher the number, the more organic matter in the soil, and typically the more production you're going to get, and the healthier the soil is going to be over time. When we first did this experiment, we did across all fields, and it was 18.3 measurement, but the control fields went down to 13.3, whereas ours went up to 21.9. And again, that just indicates a much higher ability for the soil to retain nutrients so the plants continue to grow and remain healthy. The next case study we did in South Africa, this was done on spinach and kale. And here we got 25 to 30% increases in yield. With a darker green, you can see the difference in how much greener and healthier the spinach and kale look on the Kyminasi plants versus the control, which is a paler green, and it didn't even fully germinate in some cases, as you can see on that row. The next case study, this was done on wheat in Mexico. And you see, again, huge differences in the overall depth of green, a much deeper green, much healthier looking wheat crops, and in much better overall coverage. You got about a 25% increase in weight on the wheat fields that he tried this on. And this is going to be used for the second largest dairy farmer in Mexico, Alpura. And they're looking forward to seeing how much extra protein content they're going to get out of the wheat. So they're really excited by what they're seeing so far. The next case study was done down in Peru, and this was on turf. And you can see here in this picture how much faster and how much greener the Kyminasi Plant Booster field grass was versus before. This was done over a 2-week period. You see how dead and how brown and how ugly this grass, and lots of spots there. After only 2 weeks of using the Kyminasi Plant Booster, he was able to get his grass much greener and start to fill in those gaps again. And down here in a public park, again, same thing, a much paler green, not nearly as healthy versus after 11 days, you saw a huge difference in the grass starting to come back to life. And this is done pretty much in the wintertime, guys. So the next case study, this is another one in Peru. This was done on tangerine trees. And again, you can just see huge differences in the growth rate. This was done over 26 days of watering with the Kyminasi Plant Booster. You see how much wider and bigger the leaves are, how it's starting to flower. They're already coming out, looking to produce more fruit, and actually they're not going to produce fruit for a little while, but this is they're going to actually produce a lot healthier trees that will actually produce fruit faster, is what I meant to say. Tangerine trees and most citrus trees will take 3 to 5 years to start producing viable crops. Well, with ours, we're looking to cut that down by at least a year. And we'll keep you posted on the progress on that. But so far, they're about 30% faster growth rate with the Kyminasi Plant Booster. Next one was done on peppers, and this was done um, where we saw the huge thing about this was you saw huge differences in peppers. You saw 16 peppers per plant, with about a 30% difference here. For 75 days, he was getting 30 peppers in 75 days because they just keep reproducing more and more peppers over time. But the cool thing about this was on this particular field, you saw a huge difference in the overall weight as well, which we'll get to. The next one we did in grapes, this was as a different farm in Peru. This one was actually a huge difference because he got 30% more grapes than the previous year. He went up from an average of 21 to 24 tons on his standard fields to 38 tons. And this was, again, 15 tons more grapes per hectare than he's ever seen before. And so he got huge increases in his grapes. And again, you get better Brix rate, sweeter grapes, better quality as well. The next one was done on asparagus, and this one was done over, I believe, a 6-month period. But the cool thing about this was over 6 months, you see when they were harvesting over a month-long period, every single day they're getting more harvest with Kyminasi Plant Booster over the control. And at the end, he got 6,285 kilograms of asparagus on his field versus 4,217 on the same size field, which is a 49% higher yield on asparagus. The next one was done on cherries. This one was done, I believe, also in Peru. For 3 years, they were trying to grow cherry trees, and they hadn't had any success. They couldn't get the cherry trees to grow and to really mature. But with our technology, after only a month, basically, they started seeing huge signs of improvement. In fact, they saw a 50% increase in overall rootstock and the volume of roots, which indicates healthier trees. And they also see after 26 days, you see in the bottom picture here, much more developed in terms of leaf structure. You have basically just barely even growing any branches versus lots of branches and getting really big there in only 26 days. Here you see kind of after 3-month study, see everything looks like sticks. A month later, you're already seeing huge differences in plant growth and branch and leaf growth. And then you see after 3 months, look at the huge difference here. Look how much more branches and how much more leaves that has versus, almost nothing still going on the control. The cool thing about this was too, we did the same study on lime trees. And you see the difference in the top here, the crop booster trees, how much greener they look, how much thicker and heavier and more filled out the canopy is versus the control field in the same area. Looks more like bushes, much paler green. They're not going to produce as much fruit by any means. This one was done in a different area in Peru. This was done on Ayapanca peppers. And it was a 16-day, after 16 days, he was already noticing huge differences in the germination rate. You see how much more the plants are filled in on the left here with the Kyminasi versus how spread out it is with the control field. And then when we did the actual comparisons here, we were seeing 35 grams weight on the average of peppers with the Kyminasi crop booster, and the control plant was only 17 grams, 17 to 21. So it turns out that with the addition of how many more peppers they were getting, plus the extra weight involved, that farmer is actually getting a 97%. He reported a 97% increase in weight on his test field with the Kyminasi Plant Booster versus his control fields. So he was really excited. I'm just going to kind of run through these numbers. I'm not going to really spend a lot of time, but just to give you an idea how much more money the farmers are going to make with this. Given his extra production and the fact that we only added $175 per acre, we saw a huge difference of $783 more money that this farmer is making on every acre of grapes. And that's a low end example, only 7% increase there. He still made, even with the addition of our cost, he still made an extra $800 on it per acre on his crop there. And we've done this on several different crops. On spinach and kale, we've seen improvements in, $2,200 more profit per acre. Tomatoes, we've seen $1,500 more profit per acre. Turp and sod, we've seen over $1,000 more profit per acre. Peppers, we already showed you $10,022 more per acre. And cherries, another good cash crop, we're seeing $4,000 more profit per acre. And that's per acre, not per farm. So if you got 50 or 100 acres of cherry trees, multiply that number 4 times 50, and you're making an extra 200 grand every single year with our technology. The overall sales process is pretty simple. It's all about trust for us. We want the farmers to trust us and what we do. So we back up everything with a money back guarantee. We want the dealers to trust us. And obviously, the farmers need to trust the dealers so that they know that they're selling them a product that really works. And of course, ours really does. Just a few points here. It's a new technology that can't be reverse engineered. We have no competition right now in the marketplace. It's very easy to install. There's no power required. We can adapt to any farm that irrigates. It's very, very affordable and easy to sell. One thing you should know is our technology always works. We have a risk-free money-back guarantee. We have a 10x program, which allows farmers to try it at no upfront cost. And we have affordable payment plans and financing if needed. So very, very easy. The last thing that's really important for us is we donate 10% of all of our sales revenue to humanitarian initiatives like education, drug prevention. We work at all kinds of different government agencies to help communities as well as farmers, so we all live and have a healthier planet to live in. That's all I really got today, guys. Just want to check and see if any other questions here. Anybody saw this? No? Okay, good. The last thing I just want to leave you with, again, I already mentioned, here's our phone number. If you have any questions or you want to get started, give us a call. There's my extension. You can also email us at service@harvestharmonics.com. We would love to answer any questions you have or send you any links if you wanted to see the links. But go ahead and take down that address, service@harvestharmonics.com. So that's really all I got today, guys. I want to wish you a lot of success. I want to invite you to give us a call or send us an email, and we'd love to work with you. Thanks.